Hello and welcome to the Tarkis Zone. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be playing Timberborn, and this is the town we created in my last video, episode 1, We Hate Tarkis. That's the name of this town, We Hate Tarkis, and the custom map we made in the previous video. So I'm going to show you what I've added since the time. I've got it on pause right now, so I'm just going to move around the map here. Since the last video ended, I played a few more hours. And what I did is I added this chunk here, trees. This is my tree area now. I put a forester here and a forester here. I guess it won't hurt for me just to turn this on and put it on the fastest setting, which is up here at the top. And what I did is I put these foresters in. And then I've got the some lumberjacks in here. I got one here that is cutting those. And I added a forester here, and then I had this forester plant more of the these trees here. I want to go to the chestnut trees. So these trees here have died, so maybe I can get him. I might have to cut those. But I've got it so that I've asked the forester to plant chestnuts in this area. And then I made sure that when I go to the cut tree option here, that it's not in green. So nobody will cut them down because I'm using those as food. So with the chestnuts, just to explain that real quick, I'll go into the paths. So what happens is I've got this gatherer here. And that gatherer will collect the blueberries and the chestnuts. And basically, when it comes to the gatherer does the blueberries. The gatherer will do dandelions. Birch you cut down, so no gatherer needed. Pine you cut that down, no gatherer needed. Maples, what you do is you use another. It's this one here, the tapper shack for the maples. And then the last one is the chestnuts, which you need a gatherer to get those. So basically, you put a gatherer in. The gatherer will collect the chestnuts when they're available and get the blueberries when they're available, and then they'll store them. Right now my storage containers are full because I've got 3,000 food. So what I've done is they've collected those. I have my grills here, and my grills are grilling the chestnuts and grilling the potatoes that we're collecting from the fields that we built in the last video. Here is where I put the maples. So the maples are here. I haven't gotten I'm not cutting those down, so they're not in green, so they don't get cut down. I've removed the green from them, so my lumberjacks won't cut them down. And what I'll do is when I'm ready, I'll put the tapper in. We might actually get to the tapper this video. But what I wanted to do first, now that I've got the primary town running, I wanted to point out a couple things to you. Is your population will only grow so high to where a point where your deaths and your births will be even. So what will happen is it will eventually get to the point where I think with what the setup I've got here is it's going to be 75. We'll see, but I think what it is with I've got these units here that are breeding my there's 7 of them. What's going to happen is my population growth will get so high that I'll have 7 deaths in the window of time where I get 7 births, and I won't get any more population. And what I'll have to do is put more of these breeder tanks down to push me to get more population. And you just got to be careful with the population growth and spikes based on what the food demands and the water demands are. I also put in more of the, I put a few water tanks in. This was the medium water tank. Oh, I also put these farms up here to do the wheat. So right now I am having them collect the wheat, but I don't have a way to process it because what we need to process the wheat is this grist mill that we need to make. So we have to spend knowledge points on it. So we're going to say yes, we're going to spend knowledge points on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about where, because what it is they've got to Why don't I just put it right here? Near, I mean, might as well keep it together, right? No, I'm going to put it right here. Oh, well, because I got to get power to it, because that's the other thing about it. And I don't, this is good real estate right here next to the water. So I think what I'm going to do is do it right here. That works for me. So what this does is the worker will go grab the stored wheat. And where am I storing the wheat? I think I'm storing it over here. So that really, no, that was a bad placement. So I'm just going to highlight it. I'm going to delete it before they even start it. That was just a terrible placement, because if I'm storing the wheat here, I want to make sure that my this mill is near it. And I'm going to face it this way. So this way I'll be able to get power to it. It needs 60 power. So for now, what I've been doing is just using the power wheels. This one's 50. So the wheels only give 50. So what we'll have to do, so it can work at its full capacity, we'll have to put 2 wheels in. Okay, so what the building's been made, and now we need to tell it what to grind. And we want to grind wheat in the wheat flour. And I don't have a beaver for that complex. So right now I think is when I need to increase, because I'm thinking that because if you look down here at the window at the bottom of my screen, you'll see was born, has grown up, was born, has grown up, has died of old age. So what died of old age? Died of old age. So what's happening, and I think I'm actually at that point, around the 70, 75 mark, beaver mark is where it starts, where I'm going to have the same amount of deaths as I'm going to have new grown-ups. So we're going to have to put some more incubators down. So we're going to go to housing. We're going to, a breeding pod is what they call it. And that's why I knew this was going to happen. And that's why I made room on this side. Just going to make sure using the R that faces that's why I made sure on this side I could add 3 more. And now we've got some sort of a conformity and I think what's going to happen is when those get made, the population increase I get from those will get me into the robots that we'll be able to make. That's the other great thing about this faction. And I think the other faction has robots too. But what's great about this faction is they're industrialists. And what I can do with that is they have this unique engine. And we're going to be making these engines. And these engines put out 400 points of power. So that's really, nice. And it's constant power. The other faction has windmills, has the water wheels. Now, we have water wheels that we can put in. But you need a current for them to work. And the way we built this map, how I built this map in my previous episode video, did not really... windmill or water mills were not in my thinking, because I knew what faction I was going to play, and I knew the faction had the access to the engine. So look, the fields are drying up because there's a drought. And this worked out well, putting the trees here, because this part of the map doesn't dry out. That's why these chestnuts have died over here, because they didn't survive a drought. And I think at this point, I actually have to cut those out using the forester or the lumberjack, and then replant if I want to. But I've got plenty of food right now. I'm in easy mode land because I've got plenty of food. I've got plenty of water. I just need laborers at this time, because I need to get the laborers into to mashing up that wheat into the wheat flour. And then what's going to happen is once I get the wheat flour, I'll have to go back to the food icon here, and we'll have to make the bakery. So why don't I unlock that with science points? So this is the bakery. What's nice about the bakery is it doesn't require, I'm going to put this on very low construction priority and workplace priority. because we don't really need this right now, because we don't have this working. Oh, they built it? Okay, so we're going to go and say we want it to make bread. Okay, so when this starts working and crushing the wheat into the flour, then once the flour is made, then the baker can make the food. And the reason why I wanted to get on this now is because my population is going to start growing again, because we added the extra pods. I want to kick my population up to probably about 100, 120, and I got to prepare for that with the next generation of food. And bread, just they don't need as much of it, and they like it, and it keeps their wellness up, their well-being up. So right now, the well-being is only 9, so I could probably improve that. Let me see where I can improve that. So the other thing I did while during the last video and this video is I added to this housing complex. I added a few more housing. And then what I did is I stacked. And the other thing is, you probably noticed that I've been stacking this way. Now that's what's great about Timberborn is you can stack this way and build the ramps so that, see, these are ramps that I built. So what we can do is, let me just show you here. I'm going to go to structures. I've already got the road in. I just need to put so there are buildings in this game that you can stack on top of each other, and the warehouses being one of them. So I could stack I can build these warehouses, and the road, see the roads that's red? So I'm getting at the very end of the district, because the district waypoints can also go this way to the point where the building gets too high, and it will be in a different district. So the district is determined on how far away buildings are from this location. I'm trying to build a 1 district map here, just to show you what you can do with just 1 district. So here, the storage units available. Let's just see what we've got that's close to its, cooked potatoes. Look at that. That's pretty much, so that's more food storage. What's this one here? This is grilled chestnuts. Okay, we'll do that one next, because they're like capped out. Okay, berries, same thing. It's capped out. So might as well just store some more berries. And then the next thing we're going to need to do, this one here, we're going to need to store the flour, the wheat flour. Let me see. I probably should do that down there and not so far up here. So let's just do something else up here. Something we already are storing. How about chestnuts? Okay, let's do that. So those are built. So they're already filling the storage. See the items in the storage? And if you look at the front of the storage, it shows you the signage, what they are in here. And I did it because I thought this would be colorful just to look at, building it that way. All right, so this one here stores the wheat. And, I'd already anticipated the wheat flour. These are the larger storage, and it's on the 2nd floor. So I've got everything I need between these two to store, and then I've got the baker who's not been born yet, or not an adult yet. So I've gotten 3 people to work this. Right now, this only needs 60 power, but I'm giving it 50 here, 50 here, right? So I'm giving it 100 when it only needs 60, but that's what you got to do. Or we could have just given it 1 of these wheels, and then it would underperform. So I rather it perform at 100% and get more power. What's eventually going to happen is I'll make sure that the power areas are connected to the new engines that we'll be making. The other thing that I did between the videos is I added more of these lumber mills to get planks. I added this gear workshop, and you'll find that under wood. It's this one here, gear workshop, because you need gears. Those are items that I got 239 of them right now. And then I added this smelter to make me the metal blocks that I need, these metal blocks. And as you can see with the smelter needs 200 points to work at 100%, and I've only got 3 of these connected. So when this runs, it's running at a disadvantage because it's not at 100% power. But that's fine, because I'm gonna probably end up deleting these buildings once I build my area, which we should start now. Why don't we just start it now in this video? So I want to find an area that I can build my robot factory, and I'm thinking this is it right here. I think I've got enough space here and some room here to maneuver, and I think this is where I want to go. This building here is probably in the wrong location at this point for this plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete it because we're not using it yet anyway. We don't really need it yet. I'm deleting that bakery. And the objects are going to regather the objects and restore them. At this point, I'm going to go to power. I'm going to go to the engine. I'm going to unlock it with the science points because I got over 1,000 science points. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here. Now, what's going to happen is they're going to build this. They're going to need 20 blocks. And I don't think I've got that banked yet. I've only got 13 blocks banked. So what it is this here, I want to prioritize it. I don't think I can, yeah, let's just wait for it to start running and then we'll see what I might have to add more power to it. Because we only got 13 blocks. Getting that engine up. Yeah, so we're only running at 75% capacity. So it looks like I produce 2 blocks a day from this thing. And I've already used it. The workers have already put the 13, but once I unlock this, then I'm really off to the races. So do I just wait? Let's just wait to see if this thing will produce the blocks we need. Let's do that first. So we're still in the drought. The other thing that I added too was this builder's hut. And you can find that under labor down here. So here is the labor. You can do hauling posts, builder's hut. I did a builder's hut because I just wanted more people building my structures faster. Because when I was building all this, I kind of wanted it done timely. So having the extra builders. And the other thing about it is if you need population somewhere else, it's more important. You can just take a minus. And now I just freed up 3 builders who have gone up here as free builders. See here where my mouse is? So, I'll just put them back in there. Because when they're not building this, they used to work as haulers too while they weren't building. They might have taken that out of the game. So right now between that shack, there's 4, and this shack, so I've got 8 builders that build projects for me. And right now they're not building anything because the only thing I've asked them to build is this. So I guess I could ask them to build, let's see what we got here. I know what I want to add to that. So let's go to metal. Let's go to smelter. The smelter just requires gears, scrap metal. I probably should mention that too. This metal here, we got these 2 guys collecting it. The scavengers. They're under metal. And they're right here. You have to unlock them. Scavenger flag for metal. And what they'll do is they'll get metal scraps from these old ruins we had put in. Those metal scraps are used to make the metal blocks, but the scraps are also used to build structures. Like this the smelter needs 30 of them. The smelter needs 20 gears. The smelter needs 50 planks. So the smelter really requires a lot of materials. But what's great about it is I just had to connect it to the back of this furnace or this engine. And what will happen is once the engine starts running at 400 capacity, this only needs 200. So that means I can run 2 smelters off this one engine once this engine is made. Right now it's telling me it can't work because it's got no power. And of course it got no power because we're not there yet. We're at 18, so we're almost there. I've already got a worker in there ready to go. looks like I got 2 extra workers in the world. People are getting born now, and they're getting born, and people are dying at the same rate, but I'm getting my birth rate is higher. So really, once this goes, what I got? I got 1 more block. So the next day here, and just when buildings need power, you can just put them right next to each other. You don't have to run the electrical power intersections and couplings as long as the buildings are touching. And this here is it's going right into that building. The back of the engine is connected to that building, so you can stack them the way I stacked them here. So this only really requires 1 more metal block, which these guys should be able to produce this day. There it is right there. So now we're going to make sure this has a worker. We want to prioritize this engine. We want to always make sure that this engine's running. And what it is that's all this guy does is go and get wood. And he puts wood logs in this thing to run it. So as long as and that's why I had to build this good section of wood area. Because right now I've got 764 logs in storage, and I put those storage bins here. And so they'll bring those logs to the engine and keep this engine running. So with that all said, I don't need this anymore. So what I'm going to do is go to demolish building, go to demolish building here. I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to say yes. I just freed up 4 beavers to do something else, because these guys are running here. So what I'm going to do is, now that I'm running these, I'm going to be able to produce, it looks like I'm producing a block of 4 blocks a day now, 8 blocks a day. They're going to add up quickly. So right now I've got 4 of the 5 of the metal blocks. So we'll let those collect a little bit. So now we got to ask ourselves, do we really need these guys dancing until the cows come home, feeding this power? I want to add more engines probably down this way. And those engines, let me just see what that, I want to put a power engine in. So here, if I put this power engine in, it's not, the output's not touching the building. I need to put a pipe in, or I need to put another building in. So if because I know what I want to, okay, where were we at with that? Okay, so I think what I want to do here is maybe, let me just see if this makes sense. I'm going to need to make engine. I need to make a bunch of these engines, and I'm trying to pre-plan in my head how I want to do it. So I could put this engine here, and that works out for me, because I can then put another smelter right there. All right, that will work out. I've got 9, 10 blocks. I'll wait on that for now. So it comes down to, do I want, and I can do that. So why don't I'm going to redo this. All right, I want to get rid of, I'm going to redo this. I'm going to get rid of the demolished building. I'm going to get rid of this road here. All right. So now what I can do is I can put power cabling in. I like to go lazy mode and put these intersectors in. This way you can just tie to them. It's not the cleanest way. I got to unlock this one here. This one that allows me to go, you hit R to twist it. It allows me to go above the road. And then I'll have to put this here. See, I have to put that in, and then I got to go to power. And here I'll just use the tie-in pipe. Got to hit R to turn it. So what I did here was I built this connection here, put this riser in, so I can run it. Now the other way you can do it, go around is to build a bridge. I could have built a bridge this way here, and then just gone straight through. There's two ways you can do it. Let me just show you. Let me just do it, and this way you know what I'm talking about. So this way I went above. And this way I'm going to not go above. I got to go here. Got to delete this. Go here. Oh, I don't think I could do it that other way anyway, because I guess I could. Yeah, I can. So this is the other way to do it. And this way I wouldn't have needed these lifters. I wouldn't have needed to research these lifters, because I now can just go under. So that's the two ways you can go about doing it, to get it above or under a road. So that way I just built bridges to go above the power, and the other one I put the power above the road. So that just kind of shows you the two ways that you can do it. So now I'm underpowered. I don't have enough power because this takes 60, and these guys were right at, so these are working at a disadvantage right now. So I need to add that power, and let's look up. Oh, look at that. The engine can be now put in and easily built, because I've got the 20 blocks. And I can easily build another smelter. Now, the thing is, you're probably wondering, well, why do you need all these smelters? Well, you're going to need them when I start building our robot army, or our robot workforce. Now, the housing, I'm down to 2 available beds. So I researched, under housing, I researched these large row houses. I like the way they look. And again, you hit R to make them twist, and you just put them in here. Might as well just do as many as I can on this side. See the district ends. See that red? So that building wouldn't be within the district, but this building is. I won't need this many houses. I just won't. My population won't get that high, because I'll be supplementing most of the workforce have the robots do most of the workforce. Most of my beavers will just be able to relax and eat and go and have fun all day, because I'll have the robots doing it. So here I've got enough power here. That's 400. That's 400. This is. So we'll wait until these. And the other nice thing about when we eventually get to making the robots or the bots or whatever they call them here. Let's go to science. Let's unlock they call them bots. We got a bot assembler. We got a parts. We got to make the parts. We got this number cruncher that gives us science points. Then we got charging stations. So when the bots run out of charging, or they're electric, so they'll run for a while and then they'll need to recharge, which they do on their own. So might as well start this process. Let's go to the bot factory and say, yes, I needed to research it. All right. So here I can use this side of the road now, because I've brought the power here, and I can get, it looks like, I bet I could just go right up against there. Yeah, I can. So I'm going to just put it there. I'm going to put this one here. You're going to need at least 3 of these. You're going to need at least 3 of these, and that won't fit there. I don't think the game will allow me to destroy. Let me see. I've never tried it. I don't think it's going to let me just destroy. Yeah, I have to actually have my guys harvest that. So what I'm going to do, because you need 3 bought part factories, and you need 3 of them because there's 3 items. You need to build a chassis, you need to build the limbs, and then you need to build the legs. So you could just build a few, then change its scope or what it's doing. I like to build 3 of these buildings, so I'm going to go into, it's going to be under science. I'm going to grab another one. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one here. Now this one, it's above ground. And what's nice is, that's like I said about power, they just need to be touching each other and they'll get power. So here I just got to figure out, all right, that lifter there will get me there. And why don't I go down 1? All right. And what I'm going to do is go here. I think I had enough. Oh, no. I don't think that's not going to work out. Well, no, I think I'll be able to do this. I think I'll be able to go across the way here to connect, but will that be in the district still? I don't think that's going to be, oh no, it's going to be in the district. Oh. Yeah, because it says red, it's connected, so this will be in the district. That's going to be a long way for that person's got to run with those parts. So maybe the reason why I did this is because I want to put another engine in. Let me just see what we got for power. Go to engine. I got to turn it around. I want another engine to go right here. That's why I did it the way I did it. Now this engine is not going to be connected to anything, not at this point. But what we're going to need is, we're going to need some more lumber mills, because we always are going to need planks. So we're going to go and put the planks, put these guys in, because then that will allow us to remove these, and we'll free up these beavers once these get built. And these are touching these, so this is all these buildings are touching, so it's all shared power. So what I also want to do, what I got for metal there, I'm going to go to power. I'm going to put another engine right here. All right. So then that's going to allow me, because I've got to put a road. I've got to put a road here for beavers to get in there, right? I also need to get power to this side of the road, because I want to build some more structures that are going to require power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this, what we did in the other side. Do it this way. So that connects that road there. So now I can move my power from the side of this building underneath here. So now I'll be able to run a row, another row of these. Let me just go. I think I can get away with another power unit there, but I think I could skip that. Oh, I want to turn this building around. All right, so I think I want to do that, that, and that. And then I want to connect that. So now these buildings are all connected in this power grid. So isn't all the bot factories we just put in. So this bot factory needs to make the legs or the heads. So we got one making heads, we're going to have one making the chassis, and we got one making the limbs. So once we've got those going, then we need to build an assembler to assemble the actual bots. so that we can use them as a work. So the other thing, what I did here is these gaps here, this gap here, this gap here, that's a perfect place to put pre-plan your charging stations. We're going to unlock that with 200 science points. So I'm going to, and make sure that it's facing the road. So I'm going to put a charging station there and a charging station there. See these charging stations are connected to the power grid here. This one's connected to the power grid here. So that's 2 charging stations within anticipating that we're going to have bots shortly. And what I'm going to do is span out most of my bots are going to work in this area first. So once I start producing the robots or the beaver bots or whatever you want to call them, what I'll do is tell them to work in these buildings here. So they'll be near the charging stations. And then you span out from there. So right now we're in a good place to just sit back and wait for these structures to get built. So let's look at we've got plenty of food, we got plenty of water, we got plenty of wood. We never rebuilt the bakery, right? We never rebuilt the bakery. So we probably should do that because I deleted the bakery to get these buildings in here. So let's quickly do that. The bakery, and we'll put the bakery this time. Actually, I'll put the bakery here. Well, I could put something. No, I don't want to waste that spot either, because if I want to make something that needs power, I could use the back of these buildings to connect. It's always tricky with the bakery. I guess I'll put the bakery here. So that's where the bakery will go. And I'll have to tell it to make the bread. So we'll have another food source. And now we can connect this road to this road. And then this leaves us this gap to do something. Now, the other thing I did in the last video is I put these first aid tents down, medical beds down. And so this is my medical bed area. And the other objects that make them happy are these fire pits. So to add to happiness, let's just go to well-being, I guess it's called. Oh, I also put the showers in. So this thing called the double shower, I put them here along the river. So they can shower as much as they want. So that gives them well-being. See them showering? So I did that, and I did the medical beds, which I showed you was here. So now let's look at the other things. Shrine, the water, the temple. The water things, let's do that. Let's unlock that. They really like this. Let's go over here, and you gotta make it in the water where they can swim. So that's big enough. So isn't this? I think this might be big enough. Oh yeah, this is big enough. So why don't we just put it here? And we just got to put that road to it. So when that is available, they'll have a place to swim, basically like a rec place to swim in the water, and that will bring up their well-being. So the bread will also bring up their well-being once they start getting a supply of bread. So there's another drought coming in. Also, this thing that we put in doesn't work during the drought because the water actually might be too low anyway. We'll see. I might have to start damming something up to get higher water if I want that to run. Well, that's really it, guys. I just wanted to this town here. We hate Tarkis. This time around, they didn't get angry with me at all. I just got the basic elements done where, they got the food they need, they got the water they need, and they're not angry for starving or dying of thirst. It's pre-planning was a way to go. Even though we built this map randomly on that first video that I made, I had some pre-planning in my head to see how well it would go and how smooth it would go. So for right now, what I'm going to do is let these buildings get developed, and then I'll see you in the next episode. Well, thank you for joining me. This has been the Tarkis Zone.